Let me show you how I made this fake vintage newspaper that pretends to have been published the day after the ceremony of dedication of the Statue of Liberty, which was held on October 28, 1886. It was inspired by this photo of the Statue of Liberty, which I found on Pexels.com. I processed this picture in Adobe Photoshop to give it a halftone effect to mimic an old newspaper photo. I then asked ChatGPT to write an article that would report on the event and accompany this photo. And I used that article for the main section of the newspaper. Then I also asked ChatGPT to write a short note about President Grover Cleveland, who had given a speech at the event. I took the photo of President Cleveland from Wikipedia and applied the same halftone effect to it. There was also a beautiful photo of an old building, which I also found on Pexels, gave it the same old newspaper look, and accompanied it with another story written by ChatGPT. Then there is this authentic advertisement taken from an actual New York City directory dating back to 1886, which I sourced from Pickrell. So with all the assets prepared, I jumped to Adobe InDesign to create the newspaper's layout. For the copy text, I used the font Old Newspaper Types, which I got from dafont.com, and for the newspaper title, I used Gothicus from Adobe Fonts. Then, I added a velvety texture, followed by a texture of folded paper, a color to imitate the aged look, and finally the texture for a crumpled paper feel. I then took the exported file to Photoshop, where I added the coffee stain, which I got from Resource Boy. I also found a burnt edge paper texture at the Resource Boy, which I applied to the edge of the newspaper for a more aged look. And this is how I made this fake vintage newspaper.